Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be watering some plants and we're going to start off with this one here. This is my purple passion plant and you can see this one has grown loads this year. Really happy with the progress on this one, and I've noticed that it's actually starting to branch out, as in put branches from the existing branches, which is something that it hasn't done up until now. So that's quite interesting because it could mean that the plant will get much bushier over time. But yeah, really glad I decided to restart this one. I chopped it right up at the beginning of spring and this is what we've got so far. And it really seems to be thriving. I'm really glad that it's vining because my goal with this plant was to get it vining. So I'm glad that it has started that now. So let's give this one water. This one does actually really like to stay moist. And I do let it dry out a bit more in the winter months. But at the moment, at least, it's still growing. I mean, we've just gone into autumn, but it is still growing at the moment. So I'm kind of just waiting for when it slows down, and then I'll probably let it get a little bit drier than I normally would. Just make sure that that water is drained out of the pot before I put it back in. In the pot that I have for this one, this is a little tip for you. If your plant doesn't fit in the pot, you can just put, like I've just put a tray in there, a plant tray. And it just kind of brings the level up a bit so that the pot does fit in there, because otherwise it was going too deep in. But this pot's really good for this one because it gives it a bit of room to hang, which it kind of needs at the moment. I would like to hang this from somewhere, but I don't really have anywhere suitable, or I don't have a shelf that's suitable really for it at the moment. I tend to find with this one that it really likes it in the kitchen and it grows really well there, so I really want to keep it in there, and this just enables me to keep it in there a little bit longer. At some point I am going to have to give it a shelf or something, but for the time being. But yeah, quite pleased with how that one's grown this year, and I would highly recommend this one. If you like purple plants, it does hold its colour, its purple colour really well. I know some plants don't, but this one really does. Next up we have this little Fernwood snake plant. I'm actually quite surprised at how often this one needs watering. You would think that with it being a snake plant, it doesn't want water that often, but this one does actually want watering fairly regularly. I mean, to be fair, I suppose it's in a fairly small pot at the moment, but you can see that this one has grown quite a lot this year. You should be able to tell where the new growth is because you can kind of see that it's a bit lighter green at the base, and it's just sending out so many new little fingers, or whatever you call them. I really like this plant. It's one of those really low maintenance plants, and I mean really low maintenance. I mean, I suppose it is a snake plant, and you know, stating the obvious there, but it's very forgiving, even though it does want water a lot. I mean, this one, it does like a regular watering, a little bit more than some of my other snake plants. I have a feeling that might be because it needs a repot. I haven't actually ever repotted this one, no I haven't. But even when I let it dry out for a while, it's still happy. And yeah, it just grows really happily. When you buy one of these, they kind of start out with these spindly things kind of straight up, but over time as they grow they get a little bit more wild, and I quite like that about this plant. It's a really versatile plant too. You can put this one in pretty much any lighting condition. It does grow better, of course, in bright indirect light, but it can tolerate lower light, as most snake plants can, to be honest. But yeah, this is one of those plants that I don't think I ever have to worry about. It really is just so easy. And I popped it in this pot recently. I like to change my pots around a bit sometimes. I thought this one looked quite nice in this pot. Okay, I have refilled my watering can. Next we're going to be doing this one. I don't think I really ever show this plant much on my channel. This is the ficus benjamina, and it's the variegated one. But I really love this plant. It's so pretty, and I have it in this Buddha pot. It's a really pretty plant, and I'm not sure why I don't talk about it that much. I guess because it's just one of those background plants that is really easy to look after, and I don't know. Why don't I talk about you more? Let's take that out of there. Pretty sure this one needs a repot too, because I think I can see, do I see roots? I do see some roots, yes. But these plants are kind of known for being a bit finicky with their watering, and I've heard that they can, you know, some people find them a bit difficult, that they might drop their leaves and things. But I mean, this one's dropped a couple of leaves there, but I wouldn't consider that to be a problem. But actually I find this plant quite forgiving. I've never actually found that it's finicky or difficult. I also have the green version of this one, which I've had for many years, and that one again is just as easy. But this one, even though it's variegated, it actually is really kind of versatile and adaptable. It will handle kind of medium to low light situations, and it doesn't seem to lose its variegation. It's a pretty low maintenance plant, I would say, so I definitely wouldn't call this a difficult or finicky plant. With this one, I actually took out the support sticks, because most of the time people grow these with support sticks in, but I wanted to just let it be natural. I mean, it does get quite a woody stem anyway, but I kind of didn't want to give it support. I just wanted it to do its thing, and if it wants to lean over a bit, then I'd like it to just do that. Just want to see what it would be like if I don't try to train it up a stick. Yeah, just see what happens. So far it's still kind of standing up, but it's got a bit of a droop there. I suppose my vision is kind of, you know, if you've ever seen a silver birch tree, the way they hang over, I love that. So I'm kind of just encouraging it to sort of do a similar thing. But yeah, this one doesn't generally like to dry out all the way officially, but I accidentally let mine dry out all the time, and it really is fine. So yeah, probably don't let this one dry out, but if you do, you'll probably be okay. As I say, this one's been so easy, and yeah, it's grown loads this year. I can even see lots of little new baby leaves now, and they're all variegated, even though this one, I would say it's kind of getting indirect light, but it's medium indirect. I wouldn't say it was the brightest, but yeah, I could highly recommend this plant. It's a really pretty elegant one, and of course they can get very big like a tree eventually, so if you have a spot that you want to kind of fill, this one might be a good one for you. I was saying on my Patreon the other day, I was doing a watering video there, and I was saying that I really need to upgrade this watering can. It's just one of those things that I haven't done. I need to get a much bigger one. It would make my life easier. This kind of did the job for a while, but as my plant collection has grown, which it has grown a lot over the last 12 months, it's not very appropriate anymore because I have to keep going and filling it. So I will upgrade my watering can at some point. If you're wondering why on earth am I doing it the hard way, it's just because I haven't got around to it. It's one of those things, you know, that you need to get around to, but you haven't. So next we're going for this Monstera adansonii mint. I currently have this one on a stick here, and it really is needing something a bit more really. It's kind of growing off it now. Another thing I like to do, yeah, it's toppling over quite a bit. Another thing I like to do when I water generally is check for pests. It's a good time to do a pest check. But this one, I think definitely does need a repot. It's something I'm kind of waiting to do. I'd really prefer to do it in the beginning of spring, so I would like to wait. So this one is currently still growing, but I expect it to start slowing down a little bit. But considering this started out as a little tiny cutting, well, 2 cuttings, it's grown quite a lot, I think. It's got very full and very lush, and yeah, it's just really loving life, this one. It might be hard for you to see the mintiness of it. I'll take that little yellow leaf off there. Teeny tiny leaf. Probably one of the first ones it had. But yeah, this one has really impressed me, I have to say. I really love the variegation on it. As I say, it's very subtle, so you may not see it, but you kind of get it starts off a little bit more minty green when it comes out, but it kind of fades out to white eventually, some of it. You do get mintiness and white, so you kind of get a little bit of both, but yeah, it's quite subtle variegation, I'd say. And yeah, this does need a repot. Oh my gosh, we've got roots like coming all out of the top of the pot there, so it's definitely ready. Maybe I should do it, not today, but maybe I should do it before spring, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it will make it, because, you know, it will slow down a bit soon. But yeah, this one is just as quick to grow as the plain green one. It's also just as easy to care for, so I would say there's not really a huge amount of difference, apart from this one needs more light to maintain that variegation, and I find with the solid green one, if it gets too much light, it kind of fades a bit and goes a bit yellow. So yeah, I suppose light is the only really difference. I did do a full care video on this plant on my Patreon page as well, if you're interested in that. Right, we'll pop it back in there. It definitely doesn't want to stay on that stick. It's not the best support option really, is it? And another thing I was going to say is this is something I use, a moisture meter for checking when my plants need watering. And a little tip I'd give you when using one of these is test different areas of the soil, because the soil will dry out differently. So you might test, say, the outer part of the soil and it will show up as dry, but then if you push the meter thingy down into the bit with the roots in the middle, you'll find that it might be wet. So something I've learned to do is always check kind of 3 or 4 different areas in a pot rather than just one, because it does vary across the soil. And yeah, I will put a link in the description to this if you would like to get one. I swear by this. I still use it, even though a lot of the time I think I know when my plants need watering. I'll still use this just to make sure, because yeah, there's no telling when root rot will occur, and once root rot sets in, it's really hard to get rid of, isn't it? So it's much easier to just use this, I find, and err on the side of caution, really. I mean, why not? It doesn't damage the plant or anything. It's just a quick few little stabs in the soil, and yeah, it just gives me peace of mind to know I'm not over watering my plants. Okay, lastly we have this one here. I'm just going to lift it out there. Syngonium mojito, and this is another one that I completely chopped back at the beginning of spring, and yeah, look how full it's got. It has so many leaves, and next year I think it will grow even more and probably outgrow that pole for sure. But I'm kind of glad it didn't outgrow its pole this year though, because you know, I didn't really want to have to extend it, but it seems to be doing well. This is another one that does like to stay moist. It doesn't really like drying out completely, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if it dries out, but it will end up getting some brown tips. And again, definitely let this dry out more in winter, in the autumn, winter, because it won't be using as much of that water, of course. But I did find last year that when I left it a little bit too long without water, it did start to get kind of brown tips, and they did become very unsightly. I don't like it when they get unsightly, so that was part of the reason. I can't see you behind this plant. That was part of the reason that I decided to chop it up, because it did look very unsightly, and it just felt like a restart was appropriate with this plant. And I think I made the right choice, because it's growing back so well. There are so many plants in the pot now. Some of the smaller ones that have only just got going, I think when they take off next year, it's going to be such a massive plant. It's going to be huge. So, right, it's getting quite heavy as well. Okay, so that's that one done. And I think that kind of concludes today's watering session. I do like to stay on top of my watering, even though I have a lot of plants, and some of you might wonder, how do you manage to keep on top of it? I just do them in bits like this, so they don't all need watering at once. I kind of have sections of the house too that I'll do at different times. For example, I'll do the bedroom separately, the bathroom separately, and then in here in the living room where I have most of my plants, I will have different areas that I kind of check at different times, so they don't all need watering at once, and that's how I break it down really, to keep it manageable. Like for example, this morning I did the plants in the bedroom and they didn't all need watering. I just go around with my moisture meter checking them all, and then I water the ones that need watering, and it doesn't really tend to get too much if I do it that way. The other thing I'd say about moisture meters, another tip is to clean the moisture meter in between plants, because you can pick up pests and eggs and things from pests from the soil. So definitely either give it a rinse under the tap, or sometimes I will take a antibacterial wipe around with me, and then I'll just kind of wipe it in between plants. But yeah, that's definitely a tip I would say to use this safely, because one of the things that can spread pests between our plants is when we say put that in the soil and then we do the next plant and it ends up with eggs or pests themselves being transferred over. So I try to do that wherever possible, because that's one of the ways in which they can kind of get around in our plants. Unfortunately, there's no way of stopping pests 100%, especially if you have a lot of plants. So it's just about kind of keeping them to a minimum, I find. I will do a video very soon on pest management and what I do to keep pests at bay. But yeah, I think that will be it for today's video though. Hopefully you got some watering done, or maybe you just chilled out whilst I water my plants. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.